It is absolutely my pleasure today to have the opportunity to speak with Grandmother Flordemayo. Grandmother Flordemayo is known across the world as an extraordinary human being who, with her great gift of prayer, the incredible depth of love that she carries for Creator, for life, for Mother Earth, has touched millions of lives, and I can say has deeply touched my own. So I want to thank you for joining us today, Grandmother Flordemayo. And today, your wisdom is so desperately needed. So I'm going to let you speak right now.
Thank you so very much. It's a great honor for me to be here speaking to everyone in the Four Directions. I'm so absolutely honored. Today in our sacred calendar, the Mayan calendar, is the day of Toch. And Toch translates to the offering that we give on this particular day. Perhaps maybe we are grateful for another day. We're grateful for having what we have at the moment. Grateful for our families, our moms and dads, our children, that everybody is doing fine. So we do this offering of the day at dawn, the first light of the dawn when we are awakened. So throughout the day is a day of gratitude and gratefulness of everything that we have, and even if it's like a difficult day, we're in the moment, and I know that we're going through incredibly difficult time. But let me just remind everybody, right now, our prayers, as the grandmothers would say, is what we have right now, and so we have to keep at it. Yeah.
Grandmother Flordemayo, can you begin with a prayer, please?
Absolutely.
Thank you.
Thank you. Beloved Creator, beloved Mother, Father, beloved beauty of the sacred moment, thank you. Thank you for the beauty of the light of the sun, beloved Creator. The sun represents the element of the sacred fire. It is the fire that moves within us, that it awakens us. And it is that fire that makes everything grow on the globe. Without this fire, without the spirit of the grandfather, son, beloved Creator, none of us would be thriving and living, because we are in need of this beautiful, beautiful sacred fire. It is a benefit for the plants, for the humans, for all of the animal, for the waters, for all that grows. And so we are so eternally grateful for this beautiful, beautiful light. Beloved Creator, I thank you for the spirit of the sacred wind. The wind is the spirit of the sacred breath, beloved Creator. The breath represents the air that flows through our bodies, our nostrils, that helps us to speak. This is the spirit of the voice, beloved Creator. Without this spirit, we would not be able to speak to you, to send you the humming sound of the lullabies. Whispering the vibration of our love coming from our bodies out into the universe, beloved Creator, because this is where you dwell. You dwell in all of that beautiful space that is so beyond, beloved beauty. But you listen to us and you guide us, and I thank you. I want to thank the spirit of the sacred waters, beloved Creator. I'm speaking about the salty waters, the ocean, the sweet waters That would be the lakes and the rivers, beloved Creator. All of the water that rains across the globe in the four directions, beloved Creator. For every drop that falls from the heavens, beloved Creator, watering all of life around the globe. Thank you for all these sacred waters. Not only that, but the waters in the human body, the women, the water of the breast, the food for the babies, the water that is gathered in the womb when we have a baby in our wombs, beloved Creator. It's that water. The water of our menstrual, beloved Creator. It's that water that we honor. Beloved Creator, I also honor the water of our tears. All of these waters in the body of a human, of a woman, represent the grandmothers of the four directions. And we are connected when we say, beloved grandmothers of the four directions, thank you. We are honoring in essence our body because this is who we are. Nature and us are one, and we and nature are one. Beloved Creator, I thank you for the spirit of the sacred earth. Beloved Mother, you have been taking care of us from the beginning, regardless. Without you, we would not be able to have a space to walk upon. Without you, we would not be able to see the beauty of nature. Without you, we would not be able to recognize all the little tiny little animals that walk upon you. All of the bigger animals that walk upon you. All of the humans that walk upon you around the earth, beloved Creator. All the beauty of nature, from the tiniest little seedling, the tiniest little plant, to the biggest trees that you have been able to grow, that are hundreds and hundreds of years old, beloved Creator. Without you, you would not be able to sustain all the waters, the ice in the North and the South Pole, all of the mountains and all of the valleys and all of the lakes and all of the rivers, beloved Creator, the streams that are running around you. Thank you, beloved Mother. Thank you because of all of these beautiful things. And for us being here together, each and every one of us, men, women, young, old, middle-aged, teenagers, little bitty babies, beloved Creator, I thank you. In the name of all that is sacred, beloved beauty, thank you.
Thank you so much, Grandmother Flordemayo. Your gift of touching the heart moves us all, and your profound awareness and abilities that you have that we all hopefully someday will begin to understand. You help us to see through the story that we have experienced, or we create ourselves. And we're in the midst of a great story right now. The story that we need to realize that we have played a part in creating this quote unquote pandemic that is showing us the panorama of our foolishness, of the things we've done wrong, but the beauty of the panorama of what's available to us. If you would be so kind, please share with us your thoughts about what is the meaning and what are we meant to learn about ourselves in this time of this global awakening.
I would like to share with everybody, first of all, on how I feel, but I like to also express something that happened to me as a child.
Yes, please.
As a child living in Central America, you have the absolute beauty of nature and the one-on-one of the beautiful animals that exist there. I had received a little baby sloth to mother it, to take care of it when I was a kid. And for me to take care of baby animals was, I was just so in love in being able to do that. And this particular little guy, little girl, um, I had this like enormous love for it, and so every day I took care of it and made sure that it had, you know, the proper water and the proper food, and I checked on it and made sure that the tree that it was on was the proper tree. And I was always asking my mom for advice, and at the same time I fell in love with this little animal, and I would carry it around and it would embrace me, because that's kind of like what they do automatically. So when you're a kid, you're like, oh, you know, the sloth loves me. And so all the little animals that I had, you know, we kiss them and we love them. Well, it turned out to be that I became very sick. And to make a very, very long story short, I came down with tuberculosis. And this tuberculosis caused me to be isolated from my family. It caused me to be put aside to be bathed, to be put aside to be fed, to be put aside in sleeping. And so I was isolated in my house, and it caused me a lot of emotional discomfort, because I didn't understand how sick I was, and I didn't understand how contagious it was, other than, you know, my mom just kept repeating it to me. And so I went like this for a long time. My mother taking care of me with natural medicine, with prayer, you know, making me comfortable. My brothers and sisters were very understanding and very worried. And so everybody made it so that it was not so hard on me. But at the same time, it was extremely, extremely difficult. And not only that, but in a place of, it was daunting. It was like I could not understand in my mind as a young person the what it was doing to me emotionally. And it finally ended up that I was so extremely sick. My mom had tried every natural, anything and everything she could. And not only that, but with the advice from the natural doctors in my region where I lived, that she made the decision to take me to the capital, which is Managua in Nicaragua. And in the capital, I was put in a tuberculosis sanatorium. And so I went from being in my house to being absolutely isolated between metal beds and ceramic walls. It was like sleeping in a bathtub. And it was very cold, and it was very isolated, and it was like children were crying, and everything about it was surreal to me. And my mom came, she dropped me off, and I could not understand it. I think that I was like perhaps maybe staring at the ceiling and staring at the walls for I don't know how long. You know, went through sessions of medication and a lot of x-rays, I remember. You know, when you live in an existence of where I was, you know, in this little town, to going into a big hospital like that was, it was, I would say, mentally damaging to a child.
Yeah.
Um,
Completely foreign land.
it was just totally, totally foreign. Um, they would take us outside and they tried to make things normal, like have like a normal school thing. But I remember with this tuberculosis that I felt sick. I felt, I felt like I had, you know, the flu. I just felt overly, overly sick. I just didn't want to sit outside, and I didn't want to think about school, and the sound of the other children irritated me. The voices irritated me. The children crying irritated me. And also, I was unable to eat. I felt nauseous, and I was not used to like hospital food. It made me very nauseous. And I remember that they were worried about me, that I lost a lot of weight. Um, and so, so this happened to me, and I can't tell you for how long, how many months, or what it was. But I have been thinking a lot about this with this pandemic that is going on. And, how we become sick unknowingly. And, certainly, we did not think that the the monkeys that we have in Central America, that when you think of something being in the wild, you think that they're okay, but we did not think that they were carriers of things like that, like tuberculosis. And my mom took such good care of me immediately that I had 10 brothers and sisters around me, that immediately when she realized what I had, she isolated me. My dishes were everything, my sheets, my towel, my everything, anything that I touched, anything that I used was put out of sight from everybody. And I believe that if it wasn't for my mother's knowing and understanding that if she did not take care of the matter immediately and became responsible, not only would she have lost me, not only would she have lost the rest of the 10 kids, but she was also in trouble of becoming sick.
Right.
And so I think about that happened to me as a child in third world country. I mean, it's not like we have masks and things over there.
Right. Right.
So everything about it was, cleanliness. Everything about it was this compulsive cleanliness. And I remember my mom just being extremely, throughout my life, as a child, I remember my mom just being extremely, extremely clean. And so many times I've asked my brothers and sisters, was mom like that, like only because I got tuberculosis? And the kids said, no, she was like that ever since we've known her. She was always very, very clean and very, very particular of how people used, let's say, for example, like the kitchen table, right? Like she would not allow animals like the chickens to be put on the table, like kids, for us kids to sit on the table, or to, sometimes kids get on the chairs and they jump on the table. We were not allowed to do that. And once the dishes were washed and put away, the pots and pans, once that was put away, you didn't play with them because that was for cooking. That was like not permitted. There were certain things that were not permitted. She had to watch you when you washed the fruit, and she watched you when you washed your hands, you know. And sometimes children, when they bathe, and I know this from experience, you only wash your stomach, like your front. It's
like you don't have sides or back.
no.
Right.
And my mom would remind me, and she would say, "Daughter, lift up your arm for me." And I would have like these drops of dirt like coming down over here. My knees were like chronically dirty. And she would say, "Just look at your knees." She said, "Every bit of your body has to be washed." And so, this was like, for me, being supervised and being bathed, it was like so sweet, because it was like this interaction between myself and my mom, and she was just very loving and very sweet.
So,
And so,
grandmother Flordemayo, we only have about 4.5 minutes left.
okay.
So the time goes by fast. So
Yes.
if you could just briefly share with us, what have you learned in your deep connection to Creator? What are we learning as human beings right now?
We have to have the common sense.
Yes.
We have to have common sense with everything that we do. Yes. And we have to trust in ourselves, and we have to trust in the prayer. We have to not only think about ourselves, but think of everyone around us with this pandemic, especially family, especially family. And this is what makes us wise, is by being considerate to others and to yourself, because if you get sick, how are you going to take care of the rest of the family? Not only the family, but some of us might have pets, how are they going to be taken care of? And the home and everything else that we're responsible for. So, ask your heart. The heart always knows the truth.
Yes. So for all of those who are so vehemently resistant to being consciously aware of their communication or their ability to transmit germs, etc., this is about our own humanity. This is not about stomping your feet and saying, "I'm not going to, because I'm not going to listen to somebody telling me what to do." This is about listening to your heart. What is the right thing to do? What is the kind thing to do?
Yeah.
How do we begin to look at our humanity collectively, rather than as a spoiled child saying, "No, I won't"?
Yeah.
And when we begin to look at the gifts that Creator has given everyone equally, we all have the same air, we all have water, we all have a body, we're all walking on this beautiful earth. That's our commonality in many different guises, in many different locations, but that's our commonality, and we have to remember that beauty first and foremost.
Yeah, absolutely. And I want to share with everybody that in my story of the baby sloth did die of tuberculosis.
Mm.
Yeah.
So you apparently you were that sloth was the carrier.
Yes, absolutely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. That we're not immune to these horrific transmitting diseases. We're just not immune, whether we're in my case, I received it from an animal,
Yes.
Yeah.
But if we could say really quickly, I remember you sharing, and I hope I'm not telling stories out of school, but you sharing how your sweet presence, your spirit was able to visit your family
Yes, I was
in
able to
dream and whatever, so
out
that
of
you knew you
out
were
of
connected to them.
yes, a lot of out of body experience. I started to I missed my family, I missed my mom, I missed everybody. I went from being surrounded by brothers and sisters to going into isolation, to being removed from my house, from my little town, and going into a sterile city that's made out of cement and things like that, you know.
Yes. So, Grandmother Flordemayo, as always, our conversations are way too short. I want to thank you for being who you are. And I want to make sure that people are aware of the work that you're doing with the path as a seed temple to preserve the seeds for our future, for these mysteries that we don't even understand, the miracle inside a tiny seed. And our own lives begin as seeds, and we have so much to look to and look into with open hearts and open minds. So thank you, Grandmother Flordemayo, for all that you do for humanity. You're a
Thank you.
blessing to us all. You're a blessing to us all.
Thank
This is
you.
Elaine Grohman for Earth Wisdom Circles. Please be humble. Please be aware that no matter where you are, you make a difference. Thank you.